All right, buckle up, everyone, because today we're diving deep into the world of Moringa Magic.
Ooh, exciting.
Right.
Yeah.
You guys sent over some super interesting stuff about this product, and honestly,
Yeah.
it's got some pretty bold claims.
It does.
This Moringa Magic, they say it's packed with all these incredible benefits from this miracle plant, Moringa. So naturally, we got to ask, right?
We do.
Is Moringa really all it's cracked up to be?
Yeah.
Is it a true superfood? Or is it
It's
just
clever marketing.
clever marketing?
Right.
Yeah.
So let's see if we can unlock the truth behind Moringa Magic together. What do you think?
Let's do it.
All right. So first things first, right?
Mm.
This whole superfood thing is like everywhere these days.
It is. It is.
And Moringa's gotten swept up in all the hype, right?
Yeah, it's definitely
They
adds.
call it the world's most useful plant, packed with nutrients, all that jazz. But, I mean, how much of that is just marketing fluff, you know? Well, it's interesting because, Moringa itself, like, scientifically, it's Moringa oleifera.
Yeah.
It's actually not a new discovery. It's
Yeah.
got a long history of traditional use, especially in certain parts of the world.
That's interesting.
Yeah, but this whole superfood label, that's definitely more of a recent thing.
Oh, I see. So it's like the plant itself has been around,
The plant's been around.
but the hype is new.
The hype is new.
Okay, that makes sense. So we got to sort through all that marketing speak and look at the actual evidence.
You
right?
do. We absolutely do.
Yeah, yeah. And speaking of evidence, something in the material that caught my eye was this. It said, February 2020, new scientific discovery.
Ooh, interesting.
And I'm like, ooh, okay, new scientific discovery.
Yeah.
What's the scoop on that? What did they discover in February of 2020?
Well, it seems like they're referring to a study that was published in the Journal of Food Science and Technology.
Okay.
And this particular study, it actually looked at the effects of moringa leaf powder on healthy individuals.
Okay. And what they found was that it actually led to a pretty significant increase in their antioxidant levels.
Wait, hold on. They actually tested this on real people.
They did. They did.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
But just to refresh my memory, what's so special about antioxidants again?
Yeah, so antioxidants are kind of like the body's defense squad, right?
Okay.
They help fight off these harmful molecules called free radicals.
Okay.
And free radicals, those are the things that can actually damage our cells.
Oh, right.
So antioxidants are really important for supporting the body's natural defenses and maintaining a healthy inflammatory response.
Okay. So moringa boosting antioxidant levels, that's a point in its favor then, right?
It could be. It could be.
But the source material also went on and on about, all these other nutrients that moringa has.
Let's
Got
see.
vitamins A and C.
Yeah.
Like a whole bunch of B vitamins they mention.
Mm-hmm.
Iron, calcium, even protein.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it sounds like a nutritional powerhouse, right?
It does. Is it really that amazing, though?
Well, moringa is definitely nutrient-rich, it's true.
Okay.
But it's important to remember, lots of plants actually offer beneficial nutrients.
Ah, okay.
You know?
Yeah.
The key is to have a balanced diet overall.
Right. Not just rely on one, magic ingredient.
Exactly.
That's a good point. That's
Yeah.
a good point. So let's get into the specifics now, right?
Yeah, let's
Because
hurry up.
the source material, it touts all these specific benefits.
It does.
Heart health, blood sugar, digestion, weight management,
Mm-hmm.
even prostate health. I mean, the list goes on and on.
Yeah.
Is there actually any scientific weight behind these claims?
Well, I think it's important to break down each of those claims one by one, right?
yeah.
And look at them individually.
Yeah.
Because some of them, the potential benefits for heart health and blood sugar regulation, there actually is some scientific support for that.
Okay.
But we have to look at the details.
So instead of just taking their word for it, we got to kind of dig a little deeper.
Exactly. Because, for example, the studies that have shown positive effects, they often involve very specific doses of moringa.
Oh, yeah.
And they're looking at specific groups of people.
Okay.
So we can't just assume that those findings are going to apply to everybody, right?
Yeah, it's like saying, oh, this worked for this group of people under these very specific conditions.
Mhm.
Therefore, it works for everybody.
Right.
We can't jump to conclusions like that.
Exactly.
Okay. What about some of the claims that maybe have a little less evidence,
Yeah.
glowing skin was one they mentioned,
Yeah.
improved digestion. Are those just totally bogus?
Not necessarily. I mean, moringa, it might contribute to those things.
Okay.
It's possible.
Okay.
But the evidence is just not as robust.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
We need more research.
Okay.
We need to really understand, does it actually work?
Yeah.
How does it work?
Yeah.
So it's important to approach those claims with a healthy dose of skepticism.
Yeah. So not a complete dismissal, but more like the jury's still out.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Okay, I like that. One thing I did find interesting is that this Moringa Magic, they market it as a pill.
Interesting. Yeah.
Right. And they really emphasize the convenience factor. Like, oh, you can get all the benefits without having to, actually eat moringa.
Right, because some people might not like the...
The taste.
Yeah, yeah. So what's your take on that? This whole, whole food versus supplement debate, right?
It's an interesting debate, and it's one that has been going on for a long time. Pills, they definitely offer that concentrated dose.
Yeah.
They're super convenient.
Yeah, I get that.
But whole foods, they provide a wider range of nutrients. They've got fiber.
Yeah.
And, their effects might be a little bit more holistic.
It's kind of like, I guess, the difference between taking, a vitamin C pill and eating an orange.
Exactly.
Right,
Yep.
you get the vitamin C either way.
Yeah.
But the orange has got, a whole package of additional stuff.
It does.
Yeah. So, can we definitively say whether the moringa pills are better or worse than actually, consuming moringa in its natural form?
It's tough to say, definitively.
Yeah.
It's definitely something to think about.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of things to think about,
Yeah.
let's talk about those marketing tactics.
Oh, yeah.
Because the source material, they were laying it on thick.
They were, weren't they?
Bold claims,
Yeah.
limited time offers, free bonuses.
The whole 9 yards.
The whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
How do we, navigate this world of supplements and superfoods and all that without getting fooled by all the hype?
It's a good question. And I think, the key is to focus on the scientific evidence, right?
Okay.
Look for studies that are published in reputable, peer-reviewed journals. And don't just rely on anecdotes or testimonials.
Okay. Evidence over endorsements. Got it. What else?
Well, transparency is key, right?
Okay.
Look for companies that are transparent about their sourcing, their manufacturing processes, their ingredient list.
Yeah, makes sense. So it's all about being an informed consumer.
It is.
Doing our homework.
Absolutely.
Okay, I like that. Now, one thing that I did find interesting that the source material mentioned just briefly was this idea of moringa being a sustainable crop.
Interesting.
Right, and it talked about potential benefits for the communities where it's grown.
Yeah.
So it's not just about popping a pill and calling it a day.
Right.
There's a bigger picture here.
Absolutely. Moringa can be part of a much larger conversation.
Okay.
A conversation about sustainable agriculture, food security, supporting local economies.
Wow. That adds a whole other dimension to this deep dive.
It does.
It's moringa is this gateway to thinking about where does our food come from? Who benefits from its production?
Right.
And how we define health beyond just individual consumption.
Exactly. It really challenges us to kind of move beyond that purely consumerist approach to health.
Yeah. And consider the broader, social and environmental impact of our choices.
Absolutely.
Wow. This has been incredibly insightful.
It has been.
We've gone from, the hype of Moringa Magic to the science of antioxidants.
Yeah.
Nuances of supplements versus whole foods, and now we're talking about sustainable agriculture and community development.
I know.
It's amazing how one plant can spark such a wide-ranging discussion. So I want to ask you, listener, what stood out to you about Moringa Magic?
Yeah. What are your takeaways from what we've talked about so far?
Are you tempted to try it? What questions would you want to explore further?
It's kind of wild, right?
What is?
How we often just think about supplements on their own, in a vacuum.
Yeah.
But they're actually connected to all these bigger things,
Yep. Right. Agriculture, economics, even cultural traditions. Right? It's all intertwined.
Yeah, moringa is a perfect example of that.
Totally. It really makes you think about how the choices we make as consumers,
Yeah.
they don't just affect us.
Right.
There are these ripple effects that go way beyond our own health.
Totally.
Okay, before we get too deep into that, let's circle back to the marketing of this Moringa Magic for a second.
Okay.
Because, those tactics, they were pretty hard to ignore.
Yeah, they definitely leaned heavily on those bold claims, didn't they?
Oh, yeah.
And those, eye-catching, limited-time offers.
Oh, yeah.
It's all designed to create that sense of urgency to make you feel oh, I got to get this now.
Right. It's this super valuable, scarce thing.
Exactly.
And those testimonials they used, well, Sometimes they can be compelling.
Sure.
I always get a little skeptical.
Yeah, I mean, it's impossible to know, right?
Yes,
Like,
yes.
are they genuine?
Are they influenced by, like, who knows what other factors?
Yeah.
Like, maybe those people saw results because they were also, like, making all these other healthy lifestyle changes.
Right, right. It's so easy to just attribute any positive changes to that one supplement,
Oh, totally.
when in reality, there might be all these other things going on.
Exactly.
Marketing, at the end of the day, is all about selling a product.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And that often means highlighting the positive and downplaying any potential downsides.
Exactly.
Stuff like those before and after photos you see for, like, weight loss products.
Right.
You never know the full story.
Right. You never know what else they were doing.
Right, exactly. So how do we become savvy consumers,
Yeah.
and not fall for these marketing traps? Is it all about just being, like, cynical?
Not necessarily cynical, but definitely discerning. Right.
Okay.
Like, focus on that scientific evidence.
Okay.
Look for studies that are published in reputable, peer-reviewed journals.
Okay, so peer-reviewed, what does that mean exactly?
So peer review basically means that other experts in that field have looked at the research
Okay.
and they've evaluated it for quality and validity.
Oh, okay. So it's like a quality check.
It is. It's a quality check.
Okay, got it. So focus on the peer-reviewed research.
Yes.
And don't just rely on, like you said, those anecdotes, the testimonial.
Exactly.
Okay, so evidence over endorsements.
Yes.
Makes sense. But even when there is scientific backing, what should we be looking for?
Great question. I think it's really crucial to pay attention to the details.
Okay.
Look at the dosage that they used in those studies,
Okay.
the specific group of people they studied, any potential side effects that they mention.
Okay.
Because what works for one person might not work for another, and there could be unintended consequences.
Oh, wow. Okay. So it's really about being informed and making choices that, like, align with our individual needs and, like, health condition. Okay. So we're armed with our, like, critical thinking caps now.
Yes.
Ready to sift through all that marketing noise.
Good.
What else should we keep in mind?
Well, I think transparency is key, right?
Okay.
Look for companies that are open about their sourcing, their manufacturing processes.
Okay. So, like, where do they get their ingredients from?
Exactly. How do they make the stuff?
Yes. And what is actually in the product, like the complete list of ingredients?
Oh, okay. So it's like checking the labels on our food.
It is. It is. We want to know what we're putting into our bodies.
Right. It's about, like, taking ownership of our health.
Absolutely.
Making informed decisions.
Yes.
Okay, I like that.
And don't be afraid to ask questions.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Like, if you have concerns, reach out to the company.
Okay.
Or even better, talk to a healthcare professional who can give you some personalized advice.
Great advice. So it's not about being, like, suspicious of every supplement out there.
It's about being an informed consumer.
Exactly.
Do your research.
Yes.
Well, this deep dive has been a great reminder of that.
It has.
But, what I'm finding most fascinating about all this is this connection between Moringa
Yeah.
and these bigger issues of, like, sustainability and community development.
Yeah, that's where things get really interesting.
Yeah.
It's not just about Moringa as, like, a personal health product, right?
All right.
We can actually explore its potential to make a positive impact on a much bigger scale.
Okay, tell me more about that. Like, how can Moringa actually contribute to a more sustainable,
Yeah.
equitable food system?
Well, for starters, Moringa is a remarkably resilient plant.
Oh, okay. Resilient meaning?
Like, it can thrive in all sorts of climates,
Okay.
even in some pretty harsh conditions.
Wow.
So that makes it a potentially really valuable crop for farmers,
Okay.
especially in regions where, like, other crops might struggle to grow.
So it could be, like, a source of income for these communities.
It could. It could.
Yeah. And food security.
Exactly. Exactly. And because Moringa is so nutrient dense,
Yeah.
it can also help address nutritional deficiencies.
Oh, wow.
We're talking about a plant that can provide vitamins, minerals, protein, all in one package.
Like a natural multivitamin.
It kind of is.
And it can be grown sustainably in areas that need it most.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's incredible.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential here.
Yeah.
Not just for individual health, but for, like, global well-being.
Okay, yeah. I'm seeing that now. And let's not forget, like, the cultural significance of moringa, too.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's been used for centuries in traditional medicine,
Yeah.
in cuisine, in lots of different parts of the world.
There's this whole body of traditional knowledge surrounding this plant.
There is.
That's worth exploring, too.
Absolutely.
It's not just about the science,
Right.
It's about understanding that cultural context,
Yeah.
respecting the wisdom of those communities who've been using moringa for generations. You're hitting on something really important here.
Yeah.
It's about moving beyond that purely Western consumer-driven approach to health and wellness.
Okay, yeah.
We need to learn from and collaborate with those who have that deep-rooted knowledge and experience with these plants.
Yeah, I'm with you there. It's about seeing moringa not just as like a commodity,
Right.
but as this valuable resource
Yeah,
that can benefit like both people and the planet.
absolutely.
And speaking of benefits, I'm curious, what are your thoughts on this whole potential of moringa to contribute to a more sustainable and just food system?
It's amazing how we started with this Moringa Magic product, and now we're talking about sustainable agriculture and traditional knowledge.
It's been quite a journey.
It really has.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see moringa in a whole new light.
It really highlights, how our personal health is connected to all these bigger systems.
Yeah,
And that our choices can have like ripple effects way beyond ourselves.
totally.
Yeah.
Before we started this whole deep dive,
Mhm.
I got to be honest, I was a bit skeptical.
Yeah.
I kind of thought moringa was just another, trendy superfood with all this, overblown marketing.
It's easy to think that, especially with all the products and promises out.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
But now I'm seeing there's, potential for something much bigger.
Yeah. It's all about, like you said, developing that critical thinking,
Yeah.
being a discerning consumer.
This whole experience has definitely made me more aware of those marketing tactics, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And how they can really influence, our perceptions of things.
They can.
Now, I'm way more inclined to, dig into the research myself
That's great.
and look beyond the, catchy slogans and all that.
I love that. That's a really valuable shift in perspective.
Yep.
It's empowering, to approach health and wellness with an informed and curious mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's not just about being skeptical, right?
Oh, exactly.
It's about being open to new possibilities, challenging our own assumptions.
I love that.
Yeah, this deep dive has been a great reminder to just stay curious and keep learning.
Keep learning, for sure.
I'm actually feeling inspired to explore more about sustainable food systems
All
and
right.
how we can make choices that, support both personal and planetary health.
That's fantastic. I love that.
There's so much to discover
There is.
when we start connecting those dots between, our own well-being and the health of the planet.
Absolutely.
Well, as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of moringa, I want to leave you, our listener, with a final thought.
Okay.
Imagine a world where we approach all aspects of our lives
Mm-hmm.
with the same level of curiosity and critical thinking that we've brought to this conversation today.
That's a powerful vision.
Right.
A world where we're all engaged in these deep dives, seeking knowledge, challenging assumptions, making informed choices that contribute to a healthier and more sustainable future.
I love that. And remember, this journey doesn't end here.
It doesn't.
We've included a link in the episode description where you can continue exploring the world of moringa.
Yes.
Click that link to delve deeper into the research, learn more about the sustainable and ethical aspects that we've talked about, and keep those curious minds engaged.
Keep asking those questions.
Yes.
Keep exploring. Keep diving deep.
That's what it's all about. Until next time, happy exploring.